Hello everybody, and welcome to another Revan1207 Discusses. Today I'm going to be talking about the upcoming game Star Wars Battlefront. This is the reboot of the original Star Wars Battlefront games, which came out, the first one came out around 10 years ago actually. It's being developed by DICE and EA, who made the popular Battlefield series, so they've got some experience making games like this. And today I'm going to be talking to you about the top 10 things that I want to see in Star Wars Battlefront. First, I'm going to have some honorable mentions. These are just things that I'd want to see, but they didn't make it into the top 10. First honorable mention is Star Wars Episode 7 DLC. This game is going to be coming out a little while before Star Wars Episode 7, but this is going to be coming out, I think, probably around spring or summer 2015, and Star Wars Episode 7 is supposed to come out December 2015, so maybe around that time they could release some DLC that has to do with Star Wars Episode 7. So that's one thing that I would like to see. The other honorable mention that I have is Galactic Conquest, which basically, if you haven't played the other Battlefront games, which I highly recommend that you do if you're a fan of Star Wars, basically you would go around the galaxy and try to win battles at a few different planets, and once you did all of that, you basically conquered the galaxy. And that's one thing that I would kind of like to see in Star Wars Battlefront. I think it might appear, but we really don't know for sure. So on to the actual top 10. Number 10 I have is squads. Now this is something that I haven't really heard a whole lot of people talk about. It's, basically, I think it would be something kind of like the way the squads worked in Star Wars Republic Commando. Basically, you were the leader of a squad, and they did what you told them to. You were the leader and everything. So I think that would be pretty cool to have in Star Wars Battlefront. You had your own squad of maybe 4 or 5 people, and they basically went through all the battles with you and everything. Maybe you could even if you could just do this in multiplayer, that would be pretty cool. It'd be something like clans, I suppose, and you could do battles like that. So that's number 10 on my list. Number 9 is heroes. Heroes in Star Wars Battlefront are basically people like Jedi, Sith, other people that are probably the more famous in the Star Wars universe, such as Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, Boba Fett, Jango Fett, all these different characters that you could play as in Star Wars Battlefront 2. And I think that this would be pretty cool if it appeared in the new Star Wars Battlefront. A couple things that I would like to see changed a little bit is the combat system as far as the lightsabers go. I'd like to see something along the lines of either Star Wars The Force Unleashed, or maybe the old Jedi Knight games like Jedi Outcast and Jedi Academy. I think that would be pretty cool, although I don't know how they're going to do it. So that's number 9 on my list. Number 8 is big maps. Now, this is something that I'm pretty sure they're going to do, just because a lot of the original maps in the first and second, and I would assume the other Star Wars Battlefronts, but I'm not sure because I have not played the other two, as they're made for PlayStation Portable and things like that. But I would like to see some big maps. Like Hoth in the original Star Wars Battlefronts was big, but it wasn't really as big as I'd like it to. I bet a lot of other people would like to see big maps, like for example, if they did the Clone Wars, Geonosis, that's a pretty big place. So you could have like a whole big map of Geonosis, and I don't know, just my thoughts on it. Number 7 is something that I really loved the original 2 Star Wars Battlefronts that I played for, is that they were very easy to make mods for, which I didn't do any personally, but a lot of other people did, and they made some really good stuff, and that's something that I would like to see in Star Wars Battlefront. Maybe include a tool or something so that you could make your own maps, make your own skins for units, and things like that. I think that would be pretty cool. But either way, I think people are going to find some way to make mods for the game. because, you know, they were able to with other games and everything. So that's one thing. That's number 7 on my list of things that I'd like to see. Number 6 is lots of bots, and I mean like as in the units on the field. I'd like to see a lot of them, because when you think of battles in Star Wars, like the Battle of Geonosis, the Battle of Hoth, the Battle of Endor, you know, Order 66, all these different battles, and also at the end of Episode 1 between the Gungans and the droids, those battles were pretty huge. So I think that it would be cool, especially if it had the big maps, to include lots of units on those maps, so that you could have like actual huge battles, maybe 50 to 75 units on the field or on the map at once. I have no idea if that, I don't really know how well that would go, but I know that the originals had like 32 units on the battlefield, I think, and that was pretty good size. And then they had Battlefront 2 had the XL mode, which had tons of enemy units. So I think I'd like to see something similar to that, maybe bigger. I think would be pretty cool. Number 5 is the Clone Wars era. Now, I've heard that the new Star Wars Battlefront is going to be Galactic Civil War only, which kind of makes me sad, because the Clone Wars was one of my favorite things about the original Star Wars Battlefront games, is that you could play as both Galactic Civil War and Clone Wars. I think even if they didn't do the Clone Wars in the game, they could probably release it as either DLC or have it in the second game. But either way, I'd still really like to see it. And like I said, with the modability, people could make mods for it that include the Clone Wars, which I really want to see the Clone Wars, because the Clone Wars are really cool, probably one of my favorite parts of Star Wars. So number 4 on my list is first and third person. This is something that the original Battlefront games had, is that you could switch between first and third person. For those of you who don't know, first person is when you're looking through the eyes of your character. So it's games like Call of Duty, Battlefield, other games like that, first person shooters, and then third person is the camera is behind the character. And that's one thing that I really liked about the original Battlefront games, is that you could switch between something, like if you want it to be more realistic, then you could have it first person, and if you wanted to, it seemed like third person was more just, I like third person better personally, but I like to be able to be in first person and see through the eyes of my character as well. So, I don't know if they're doing this, but even if they aren't, it's still something that I'd like to see probably in the next Battlefront game if they decide to do it, but I'd really like to see it in this one that's coming out as well. Third on my list is maps from the original games. Now, they'd probably do maps similar to the original games, like Hoth would probably be quite similar. Tatooine would probably be a bit similar, doing like Mos Eisley Spaceport, things like that, but I would like to see a few maps returning with like updated graphics, maybe a little bit bigger, but it would still have the same kind of feel as the originals. Like in the first game, it had Renvar Harbor, which is probably one of my favorite maps from either game. I'd really like to see that return. Also, Bespin Platforms is another one that I really enjoyed. So there were a lot of maps on the original game that I really enjoyed, and then they didn't make an appearance in Battlefront 2, so I would really like to see them in the reboot. And same thing with the second game of the original Battlefront. There were lots of maps on there that I really liked, such as Utapau and Mustafar, and what's the other one? I can't remember the name of it. It's the one, it's sort of the snowy kind of one where I think his name is Kayade Mundi, however you pronounce that, was killed. I can't remember the name of that place for some reason, but I'd really like to see that. So that's number 3 on my list. Number 2 is ground-to-space combat. This is something that people made downloadable maps for Battlefront 2, and was also supposed to be in Battlefront 3 before it got canceled. And it looked really good, but unfortunately it got canceled, but that means that we still get a new Battlefront, and we get lots of other Star Wars games that are coming out as well. So ground-to-space combat is something that people wanted for quite a long time, because, you know, it would be pretty cool to, like, spawn up in a capital ship like a Star Destroyer, and then get into a fighter, and maybe do a little bit of space combat, and then fly down to the surface of the planet, and do battles down there. I think that would be pretty cool, as do lots of other people. So, now we're down to number 1. This is something that I think some people might disagree with this being number 1, but for me personally, it's something that I really enjoy, and that's customization. Now, I don't know if this is the most likely out of these things to be in the game, but it's something that I really want. You know, customization is something that I really like to do in games. It really gives you that sense that your character is yours, and there's nothing else like it. And I really like to be able to customize my character and everything. And I think it would be pretty cool, like, if, for example, if they did the Clone Wars. You could make your own Clone Legion, like the 501st Legion, I can't remember the name of the other ones. There was the kind of orange Commander Cody kind of Clone Legion. There was the green ones, all of these different ones that were in the Star Wars movies, and then they had the 501st Legion playable in Star Wars Battlefront 2. So I think it would be pretty cool to be able to customize your troops, probably maybe customize loadouts, so you could, as you progress through the game, you unlock new weapons and things like that, and you could customize them. So you could, like, choose different scopes or different barrels or things like that, add little bonuses that give you, like, extra ammo or extra rate of fire, things like that. So to be able to customize your character, I think, would be really cool. And it would give you a pretty unique experience with the game as well. So that was my top 10 things that I would like to see in the new Star Wars Battlefront. I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for more gaming videos, like Let's Plays and reviews and topic videos like this one. Other topic videos that I'm doing, other than Battlefront, as this is my first Battlefront video, I'm also doing Batman Arkham Knight. So if you're interested in that, then you could check that out. I've done one other topic video so far, and I will probably do some more with Star Wars Battlefront as well as Arkham Knight, and probably some more games that I'm looking forward to. So make sure you check those out and subscribe to my channel. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very, very much for watching, and have a nice day.